Hello, my name is Sam. Welcome back. When we left off, we were working on this little web app. So where we can add questions and delete questions and even edit questions. So what I want to do a couple things. First thing is to do a little bit of styling. This is currently not very pretty. I'm not a designer, so I'm not going to make it pretty. I just want to make it a little bit better, I hope. Like, for example, I want to move these buttons up next to the question. And maybe like add some margins or something. Maybe add a... Yeah, we'll play around a little bit. Try to make it look more understandable, at least, if not prettier. The other thing I want to do is, once we're done with that, is to get this up on GitHub. Probably should have done that a while ago, but it's better late than never. And then also put it on Heroku. That might take some... I haven't done that in a while, so I might have to like read through some tutorials and stuff. But hopefully it won't be too bad. So, where are we? Right, so the first thing I want to do is to look at the styles a little bit. So right now, the questions are displayed as H3s. And that has a style of display block. And I think what we want to do is change it to make the buttons next to the question is to change the display. I'm not sure what I want it to be. I think inline is what we want. Yeah, that looks right. It brings up the buttons. That's nice. So, okay, so how are we going to do that? I think this is in the question where we display this thing, right? And there are a couple ways to do this. We could add some style sheets or Bootstrap or something. I kind of want to try out inline styles. And I know like inline style is kind of a dirty word, but it's kind of I don't know. The idea of inline styles is it's better to have a style sheet, right? But I think for this, it might be kind of nice to have the styles for the component in the component itself, so you can kind of see, oh, this is what's giving this component its styles, and we can always move things out into a style sheet once we need to reuse styles, or like once we have more global styles. In the meantime, I think we can do this. Style equals, and this takes a object with the attributes of the styles that we want. And then this is text. So inline. Nice. That looks good. It's a little bit scrunched up, so maybe we want to also do this. Add a margin. Oh, it's camel case. Margin right. I don't know, like 10 pixels? Again, I am not a designer. I'm not trying to make it look perfect. I'm just trying to like improve it a little bit. Sure. So what else can we do here? I want to add some space between the add question component and the all question component. So Um, well, how do I do that? So on the all questions, maybe I'll just add some margin on the all questions component. So here, this is a div, and we can do, yeah, style equals, and then actually let's name it. So we can do this is like all question style, and then what we can do is create that object here. Style. Equals object, and then I think I can do margin. Just do like an all-round margin might be nice. So like 15. And then I also want to add something here that's like um, hmm, maybe in questions. Interesting. Why do I have two returns? That's a little bit weird, isn't it? uh, questions. Why? What? Um. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. This makes sense. So I do. I'm doing a map over all of the props.questions, and that gives me uh, an array of sort of question like elements, I guess, and I display those here. So interesting. So I think what I want is to in this return, I want to add like a title here that's in H2. I don't know, H2. Um, all questions. Uh, cool. So that's an improvement, I think. Things are just a little bit more clear. Definitely not pretty. Again, not a designer, so I'm not trying to make it pretty. Just trying to make it understandable. Um, I think yeah. All right. So then the other thing I want to take a look at is I want to make this question capital so that it's consistent. Add a question at all questions. So where is that? That would be in the new question component, right? Uh, add a question. Cool. Um, cool. The other thing I want to look at is I think I'm using divs where I don't need to be. these, for example, can just be React fragments. Let me try that. Are there any other places where I can use fragments? Maybe here as well? And then also maybe this, yeah, that's fine. Let's see. That looks good, right? So what did I do? I'm going to commit this, git status -p, add that style, and that, changing the div to a fragment and adding that header. That's nice. Capitalizing question, adding this style. That's nice. And then I'll commit this, adding some styles for better readability, I guess. Better better affordance. Could use a better like a fancy design term. I'll just say better readability. Okay. And let me say add instead of adding, because that's what we're doing. Cool. Great. So now that that's done, that was good. That wasn't too bad. Go us. The next thing is to create a GitHub repository to store this. So I already have this page open. I'm going to show you how to get here, just in case you're curious. So you go to GitHub, and there's a little plus icon, and you can do new repository. And then here we can give a repository name. I'm calling this question app, so here I'm going to call it question app. Description. What is the description? Simple Rails and React web app for managing questions and answers. Something like that, right? Web app is 2 words, apparently. It can be public. I already have a README file, so I'm not going to click on that. I already have a git ignore. License. Interesting. I mean, I don't know, man. I think I'm just going to create it. So create a new repository in the command line or push an existing repository from the command line. This is what I want to do. So grab this, and in my project, git remote add origin. That looks correct. And then I can do git push -u, which sets the, what is git push -u? I used to know what that meant. Git push -help. Will that tell me? U, set upstream. Yeah, okay, cool. Set upstream to origin master. So now from now on, actually, I bet if I do a git push, it'll be like, I don't know what the upstream thing is. Yeah, git push set upstream. So doing this will make it so that from now on I can just do git push and it'll work. Branch master set up to track remote branch master. Super duper. Super duper. Oh, this is exciting. I have a GitHub project now. Yeah. So let's take a look at it. Oh, that is Beautiful. I need to update the README. Let's take a minute to update the README. Let's see. So Ruby version is this. System dependencies. Postgress, QL, Rails. Maybe. Oh, okay. How to run the test suite. Rails test. I don't yet have any JavaScript tests. That's something I want to set up soon, I think. Services. I don't think I have any services. Deployment instructions. I guess it's like I should come back and edit this more, but for now, a basic README is better than no README. So Foreman start is basically how you start it. Rails DB create, I guess. Or actually, that's database creation. Oh, I'll have some things for initialization, but I don't have them yet. I'll come back to that. Configuration. This is simple Rails and React app for managing questions and answers, something like that. Right. What I'll do is I'll like take a minute to look back over all the like setup stuff that I went through to create this project and add to here. That's one nice thing about recording video is that I can be like, oh, what did I actually do? How did I make this project? What did I do to configure it? So I'll come back to this and add to it. Well, let's do that for now. What are the things that I need to include in my README? I should probably also look at some example READMEs. But for now, I'll do this. Git add that git commit dash n date readme. Now I should be able to git push. Nice. That's always exciting. Okay. And if I reload Ruby version, oh, the formatting's a little bit wonky, but I'll fix the README later. Okay, so that was the other. So I wanted to have a GitHub repo. I now have the GitHub repo. This is excellent. Okay. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we will start figuring out how to deploy this to Heroku. I will be right back. All right, I am back. Where were we? Getting started on Heroku. So I'm looking at this guide for getting started on Heroku with Rails 5.x. Yeah, let's take a look. So a couple things to know. I already installed the Heroku command line tools and like logged in and stuff. I'm guessing a lot of this stuff will be, yeah, so Heroku login. I've already done that. Creating a new Rails app. We've already created a new Rails app. Add the Postgres gem. So we already added Postgres to our gem file. Configuring the database.yaml configuration file. In addition to using pggem, ensure that your config/database.yaml file is using the PostgreSQL adapter. The development section of your database.yaml file should look something like this. So, development adapter PostgreSQL. I think we have that already as well. Where is my database.yaml? So I have default adapter is PostgreSQL development. Yeah. Have they changed anything in the production yet? It's just default database username. Let me see. Question app database password. Okay. So if you omit the SQL at the end of PostgreSQL in the adapter section, your application will not work. So I have that, right? PostgreSQL, yeah. Create a welcome page. So this is just like hello world. We don't need to do that. Start your server. Okay. Heroku gems. Previous versions of Rails required you to add a gem to your project Rails 12 factor to enable static asset serving and logging on Heroku. If you're deploying a new application, this gem is not needed. If you're upgrading an existing application, you can remove this gem, provided you have the appropriate configuration in your production.rb file. Do I have a production.rb file? Production.rb file. Looking for like this thing? I don't have that. What about this? Public file enabled. Okay, so I do have those settings. Right? That looks like that. Specifying your Ruby version. Rails 5 requires Ruby 2.2.0 or above. Heroku has a recent version of Ruby installed by default. However, you can specify an exact version of Ruby using the Ruby DSL in your gem file. Depending on your version of Ruby, so I think I am specifying a version of Ruby in my gem file, Ruby 2.6.3. Cool. You should also be running the same version of Ruby locally. You can check this by running ruby-v. Sure, why not? Ruby-v. Yep. Store your app in Git. Heroku relies on Git, a distributed source control management tool for deploying your project. If your project is not already on Git, yeah, so I just put it on GitHub. We are Git compatible. Make sure that you are in the directory that contains your Rails app. Then create an app on Heroku. Heroku create. Ooh, okay. So now we're getting to the exciting stuff. So let's try that out. Heroku create, and this should. So let's take a look. I'm logged into Heroku here, and this is a list of all my apps. it should create a new one. If I do Heroku create, right? You can verify that remote was added to your project by running git config -- list grep Heroku. Oh, cool. Okay. Heroku create. App done. Quiet Savannah. Ooh, okay. Cool. So if I search here for Quiet Savannah, it's not there, but maybe if I reload, it will be. Quiet Savannah. Amazing. Okay. And then the other thing I want to confirm is that Heroku is added as a remote thing, so I can push to Heroku. Not a git directory. Then you are likely not in the correct directory. Otherwise, you can deploy your code. After you deploy your code, you need to migrate your database. Make sure it is properly scaled and use logs to debug any issues that come up. Git push Heroku master. Okay, so I think what I've done so far is just making the making the dyno, making a space for it, but I haven't actually pushed my code to it yet. So git push Heroku master will push my code up there. I have a warning. Multiple default build packs reported. Multiple defaults reported to be able to handle this out. First build pack in the list below will be used. Detected build packs Ruby Node.js. Oh, interesting. So it's using Ruby and it's not using Node. That's a little bit troubling because I kind of want it to use both. Well, we'll see what happens. We might have to do some special stuff to get the Node build pack working. Let's see. Oh, it has the same. It has the same warning. Interesting. Interesting. Sorry, that's distracting. Okay. Verifying deploy is done. So there's some warnings. Detecting Rails configuration failed. Set Heroku debug Rails runner to 1 to debug. The same no license field. I'm gonna look up this error and see if I can fix it, because I've seen that a bunch. I'm gonna see if it's an easy fix or not. So I'm building a library in Node. The library is only for use by the company that I'm currently working for. It means that license is none, but when I npm init, it wants me to add the license. None or unlicensed are not valid options. Add private to true to package that will help. Unlicensed is now a valid license option in NPM. Huh. Interesting. Maybe I should just add that. License unlicensed. Where do I add it? Here? um, Already up to date. Okay, so I didn't get that warning anymore. That's good. Actually, let me just make sure that things are making sense. So yeah, I get this license, no license warning, and if I put it in, then I do yarn licenses. Wait, what? Then it gets success. Okay. Alright, whatever. That's cool. That's cool. Let's get back to this tutorial thing. Heroku run rake db migrate. If you're using a database in your application, you need to manually migrate the database by running this. Any commands after the Heroku run are executed on a Heroku dyno. You can obtain an interactive shell session by running Heroku run bash. Sweet. Let's try that out. Heroku run rake db migrate. Sure. You've deployed your code to Heroku. You can now instruct Heroku to execute a process type. Heroku does this by running the associated command in a dyno, which is a lightweight container that is the basic unit of composition on Heroku. Let's ensure that you have one dyno running the web process type. Heroku PS scale web 1. You can check the state of the apps dyno. The Heroku PS command lists the running dynos of your application. Interesting. Rake aborted. Oh no. Okay, so we'll come back to this PS scale thing in a second. We need to figure out why our rake failed, or migration failed. Cannot load database configuration Postgress password. Okay, so basically the error that we were getting is key error cannot load database configuration because key not found Postgres password. The thing that I did to fix it was, so before we had like this em.fetch Postgres password. The problem is that if Postgres password doesn't exist in the environment, this raises an error. And what we want is for it to just like return null or something if that's not in the environment. So I changed it to this syntax, which it looks similar, but it actually has different behavior. So this, if Postgres password doesn't exist, returns null, or nil, I should say. And then it can continue on. So I pushed that and ran rake db migrate again, and it looks like the migrate ran because it created a table and ran create questions. So that's cool. I think we're back on track. So let's see. Go over here and look at, where were we? So migrate your database. We did that. Visit your application. You're deployed. Code on Heroku. Blah blah blah. Let's run this and see what it tells us. I'm curious. Web 1 crashed. Oh no. Okay. Interesting. Let's ensure we have one dyno running the web process. Check the state of your app's dynos. Heroku PS command lists the running dynos of your application. So if we run this, will it tell us what happened? Or why it can't? Now running web at there. Okay. So let's look at the status. It's still crashed. It seems like a bad sign, right? It shouldn't be crashed. It should be starting or started. So bundle exec rails. So this is the command that it's running. Bundle exec rails s-p3000. It's running this because that's what's in my proc file. It looks like what we want is this bin/rails server-p with passing in the port and passing in the environment, right? So maybe I'll update my proc file to this instead. Does this thing mention anything about a proc file? Aha, create a proc file. Oh, interesting. And entering this. In the proc file, write bundle exec puma -t. Oh, I don't know what this flag is for. This is the port number with a default of 3000. That's nice. With passing in the environment with a default of development. This file must be named proc file exactly. Interesting. Okay, so maybe let's try changing it to this. And then pushing that up. Where's our proc file? So, yeah. And then, does this mention anything about Webpack? Nope. That's fine. Okay, so now to get that up to Heroku, we need to git add it and git commit it and push it, etc. So yes, git commit -m update proc file to work with Heroku. So now I push this to Heroku using git. Git push Heroku master. And this always takes a minute, so what can we do in the meantime? Let's do a little bit of research about Heroku and Webpacker, because I think we'll have to do something with that at some point. Let's look for Heroku proc file Webpack. How to deploy a Webpack application on Heroku. Yeah, So I have a node application. My project structure is something like that. Sure. App.js is my entry point to find the following scripts. As well, my proc file webpack-dev-server. So I have .bin/webpack-dev-server. This is my webpack config file. Okay. When I run my app locally, all things work fine, but after I push my app on Heroku, by typing git push Heroku master, the deploy occurs okay, but I can't open the app via Heroku open. I get an error. Actually, I don't know how to run my app on Heroku. Appreciate any help. Here are the logs. Okay. After some attempts, I could deploy my Webpack project on Heroku by using the following architecture. Create a Webpack config file running a Webpack dev server for development. Create a server.js file with an Express server for deploying on Heroku. For those interested in using Webpack deployed on Heroku. Oh, I'm a little bit nervous that this is going to be complicated. But let's check in. So, verifying deploy is done. So now what happens if we do this? Oh, web is up. Nice. Let's see what it tells us if we go to, if we do Heroku open. It should open a page with that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's working. It's working. It's deployed. I'm so excited. What is your quest? What is your question? Submit. Oh my god. Yay! We deployed to Heroku. That's really exciting. Okay. I guess that's it. Those were the things that I wanted to accomplish. I'm gonna take another break. I'll be back in a little bit. What'll be next? So I think next, I don't know if I can avoid. So I've been trying to avoid spoilers for this thing. I think if I want to keep going and like keep recording this, I'll have to reveal more of the problem that I'm working on. We could do that. Keep it private. But yeah, that'll be the next thing. Like diving more into the problem. I think. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back in a bit with another video. Bye!